Good morning. Today is Tuesday, December 29th, 2020. This week's Parsha, the Parsha of Vayechi, contains a very beautiful bracha, a blessing, that was first given by Yaakov to his grandchildren, and it's a blessing that many of us repeat and sing and give with all of our love and intention and consciousness to our children, to our grandchildren, to all children. Hamalach hagoel hosi mikora, yivorech es ha'na'arim, vikare behem shmi. May the angel who redeemed me from all harm, bless the children, and may they be called by my name and the name of my fathers, Avram and Yitzchak, v'yidgu l'rov b'kerev ha'aretz, and may they multiply abundantly like fish in the midst of the land. It's a beautiful, beautiful bracha. Just one little difficulty, and that is I was not aware that fish multiply in the midst of the land. I thought fish multiplied in the water. So what in the world does the Torah mean when it says v'yidgu l'rov b'kerev ha'aretz, that the fish, like fish who multiply abundantly in the midst of the land? What does that mean? So there's several different answers. Actually, last night at our minyan, Rabbi Alex gave one answer. I want to share with you an answer that's based on the writing of the Sfas Emes, one of the great Hasidic teachers, Rabbi Yehuda Leib Alter. He lived from 1847 until 1905. To explain, let's go back for a moment to something that we have discussed before. That the prayers that we say were originally instituted by and correspond to the experiences of our avos, our patriarchs. Abraham established Shachris, the prayer in the morning. Yitzchak established Mincha in the afternoon. Yaakov established Mariv, the evening prayer at night. To look at the contrast between Avraham in the morning and Yaakov at night, we can see in our prayers, in the paragraph before the Shema, in both places, there is a change in the wording. In the morning, we begin with the words, Ahav Rab Avtanu, with a great and abundant love you have loved us. The morning prayer is a prayer of optimism and confidence as we greet the new day, as the sun shines and rises and shines again. And that was the experience that Avraham had with God and the relationship that he had with God, and the prayer that he established conveys that type of mood. Ava Rabbah, great abundant love you have shown to us. Corresponding to that, the prayer that Yaakov starts in the evening at Mariv has a very different mood. Yaakov is the one who wrestles with the angel at night. Yaakov is the one who has the dream at night. Yaakov is the one who will go into exile. Yaakov is the one who will see his family going into a long and dark exile. And he establishes a prayer. But the words of his prayer are different. Instead of talking about abundant love that God shows for us, he talks about faithfulness. He talks about the ability to maintain a connection with God even if we don't see it, even if we don't feel it. Of the three patriarchs and the three prayers, the one that speaks most directly to us in our experience is clearly Yaakov, because we have been through a bit of what Yaakov went through. The difficulties, the exile, the darkness, that has been the experience of the Jewish people over the past 2,000 years, and especially in our day. And so Yaakov's prayer, like Yaakov's life, is more directly related to us than any of the other patriarchs. The Sfas Emes gives the following explanation to Yaakov's prayer for his children. He says it's true that the natural place for fish is in the water, and under normal circumstances, fish will multiply in the water. But if fish are exiled, if fish are not in their normal habitat, if they're in a strange and alien environment, especially if they're there for a long time, they have to be able somehow to not only survive, but to flourish in that unnatural environment. And that's what Yaakov is praying for his children. He says to his children and to his grandchildren, my dear children, you are not going into the kind of a life that I went into. You're going into a very different life, in an alien environment, where you will be outsiders to a certain extent, where you will be in exile. And you have to be able to develop the strength and the resources within yourself to be able not only to survive, but to flourish like a fish out of water. Yes, it is true that in our day, we live in a blessed country, in a blessed world, where there is so much more safety and inclusion than there was in the past. Contrast our lives to, God forbid, the lives of those Jews that went through the Holocaust. And yet still, we are sometimes a fish out of water. This bracha speaks to us like it speaks to no other generation and the challenges we face. And let me add that this year, it is even more especially so, because even within our Jewish lives, we are not able to live them as we normally do. We have not been able to observe our holidays the way that we normally do, but adjusted due to the exigencies of COVID and the reorganizing of priorities of mitzvos, where some mitzvos we have to set aside in favor of other mitzvos with a higher priority of preserving health and life. The way that we pray has changed. Whether we are praying at home or praying virtually, or we're reducing the number of prayers we say, or we're reducing the number of people we allow in a minyan because of COVID restrictions. We're not doing it normally. We're not living normally in any way. And for that reason, this bracha is so relevant to us. It speaks to us. Yaakov is giving this blessing specifically to us. It has never been as applicable as it is now. And the blessing is that no matter where we find ourselves, whether it is in normal circumstances, in our expected environment, or in abnormal, extraordinary circumstances, may God protect us to be able not only to survive, but to flourish. But the bracha is so beautiful. So let's just take the opportunity to sing it together. And I invite you to join in. And remember, you're on mute, so you can sing as loud as you want. Doesn't matter what your voice sounds like. But let's get some spiritual sustenance from this bracha that Yaakov is giving to us and that we give to our children. Hamalach hagoel osi, Hamalach hagoel osi mikara, Yivarech es hanearim, Vikarei bahem shemi. Uv'shem avosai, uv'shem avosai, Avraham v'Yitzchak v'Yidgu l'rov, v'Yidu l'rov b'kerev haaretz. Like a fish out of water, may God protect us to survive and flourish in all circumstances, in all environments. And may that be true for our children and for our grandchildren. My friends, I wish you a great day. Please stay safe and stay healthy. And I look forward to seeing all of you soon in person.